So you have a compound bow, and in this video, I'm gonna show you how to sight it in. This is the front sight. This is probably what you're looking at to adjust. But then something that a lot of people actually don't think about is the rear sight on a bow. And it's actually the peep sight right back here. Let me go ahead and draw it back, because before you adjust anything on the front sight, you wanna make sure that your rear sight, your peep sight, is in the right position. Because, well, if you guys shoot guns much, and if you don't, let me just show you this. Put your finger here, and 2 fingers back here. And then line them up to where the tips of all your fingers are lining up. If you, you can move the front sight, and it's gonna move your point of aim. But if you move your back sight, it's also going to move your point of aim. Now on a compound bow, your front sight should be adjustable for different ranges and stuff, but your rear sight should be set in stone, because whenever you draw back at your anchor point, it needs to be the same exact spot all the time. So it's important to set that one up first, because it needs to fit you. Let me throw my release. I'll let you look at my anchor point, and then I'll show you where your rear peep should be. All right, so whenever you go ahead and draw back, you want to go ahead and get in your anchor point, which is where it feels nice, comfortable, and consistent. And then I always close my eyes and then open them. And bam, your peep should be right there. Let me get a little bit closer. I draw back, put it on there, bam. I should open my eyes and my peep should be there. If it's a little low, move it up. If it's a little high, move it down. You just want to be able to get in a really nice face position here. And then your peep should be right there in front of your eye. Once you got that settled, if you need to move it, you can either slide it up slightly or slide it down slightly. If it needs to move a lot, you may just want to go ahead and take it to a bow shop. But for this instance, let's say your rear peep, you got it set. Now, how are we going to move this front sight? What are we going to do to move that thing, and how do you even move it? So step 1 is to just get close to the target, because if you're just sighting in, you're not going to be able to step back to 60 yards and magically get it. So go ahead and get close. That way, even if you're off to start, you're still going to hit the target. You're not going to lose arrows. From there, let's say you pull back, you pick your top pin, which is going to be 20 yards. Let me go ahead, pull back, pick that top pin that you're trying to sight in, put it right on the target. Make sure that you got really nice shot. Boom. You just shot 20 yards. That one arrow is probably not going to be enough. Because with archery, since you are going to be the biggest dependent factor, because maybe it's a great shot, maybe you twitched a little bit, maybe you're a little wobbly, you're going to be imperfect. So instead of going off that one arrow, go ahead and shoot 3 arrows. Pull them out, get an idea. All right, these 3 are generally low. Shoot 3 more. All right, these are also generally low. Shoot 3 more. Okay, yeah, these are also still low. Now you know it's low. Going off of one shot, hey, the wind could have barely blew. You could have shook a little bit last second, or last millisecond even, and you may not even realize that you put a little bit of action into the shot, so that one arrow isn't really the best to go off of. With archery, we're going to go off averages. So shoot about 10 arrows. If they're all low, then you know it's low. But if you shoot 1 arrow and it's low, your next arrow could be high. Could have just been a random flyer, we call it. But anyways, you shoot your target, and your arrows are lower than what you was trying to hit. This is when we're going to come into our sight and we're going to move the pin. Let's go back here and let's see what we're working with. So on this sight right here, and most bow sights, each pin is going to have a little hex head and Allen key that you can unscrew and slide up and down on this rail. Sometimes your little screws may be on over here. Sometimes they may be on the front, but regardless, you'll just unscrew that top pin, and that will, just barely, and that'll allow you to slide it up and down. Here's what you need to know. In archery, you're shooting an arrow. To adjust your sight, you follow the arrow. So your arrow hits a little bit down, you're going to follow that arrow and move your pin a little bit down. So if my arrows were hitting low, I'm going to unscrew that, slide it down just a little bit, tighten it back up, and try it again. If you move the pin down too far, which now would mean your arrow is hitting high, then you're going to slide that pin right back up. Now this can be confusing because it's opposite on a rifle scope. But let me tell you this, you follow the arrow and you steer the bullet. Remember that, and that'll save you a lot of time down the road. That's the difference between a bow sight and a scope. Follow the arrow, steer the bullet. That means with this arrow, I'm moving my pin down. If this was a rifle with a scope, I would move my scope up to hit the target, because I'd be steering my bullet up. Besides that, that's how you adjust your sight. And besides that right there, there's not much more to it to sighting in a bow. Make sure you shoot a bunch of arrows and go to the average, and then you move the pin to follow the arrow, and you should be set. And don't be afraid to start off close, because that's where most of the animals you're going to be shooting at are anyways. If you want to learn more about the fundamentals of shooting a compound bow right up here, or right over here for what changes when you're shooting an animal, or if you want to learn more about the basics of deer hunting, click right over here.